And we're back.
Once again,
Another exciting episode of
the Horror Guys.
Yay!
That sounds so excited.
Yay!
Yay. I'm Kevin.
I'm Brian.
And we're going to talk about 5 movies we saw this last week.
Yeah, it's a weird bunch this week.
It's a mix. Yeah, pretty random.
Pretty much.
There's not a lot of theme here.
Well, what do we got?
Well, we got the last of the Godzillas, the last of the anime trilogy, Godzilla, the Planet Eater. Yeah, I lost track of which one this was. Yeah, the Planet Eater. 1986's Monster Dog, starring Alice Cooper. But not Alice Cooper's voice, strangely enough. Yeah. Science fiction heavy one and loaded with body horror. 2013's Stranded, starring Christian Bale. No, not Bale. Slater. Christian Slater.
The other one.
Yeah. 2026's Cold Storage and 2026's Death Name.
Death Name. Don't use my death name.
Don't use the death name.
Okay, and just to clarify with the final Godzilla, it's the last one that we haven't seen. There have been quite a few since.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the legendary films.
Yes, but we saw all those already.
Yeah.
This is completion for us. We have seen all the Godzilla movies.
Well, let's start out with the new one first. Death Name. Directed by Réi Talas, written by Réi Talas and Regina Keum, stars Amy Keum, Kevin Wu, and Vana Keum. 81 minutes. Trailer in the show notes.
At least it was short.
I put this one off for a while because I thought it was going to be subtitled.
Oh, okay.
It was not subtitled. It's an American movie.
It's an American movie.
It is.
Yeah. Occasionally they slip into Korean, but there's a subtitle here and there, but very little. It's English. Spoiler free.
See, last week we talked about The Other, and I said I had to read the description to remember what it was.
Uh-huh. I was that way with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty forgettable.
It's all right. But, yeah, it's kind of tame in the ideas in this one.
Yeah. Well, a young woman of Korean descent, she tries exploring her family history and accidentally awakens a family curse that followed her grandma to America. It is slow-moving and talky, with some suspense and a story that does build to a climax, but it's low on scares. Neither of us were very impressed with it. It's just kind of middling.
It's
pretty much every way.
Very heavy in Korean stuff. And I wonder if maybe if we were Korean and knew the mythology and the backstory behind it, if it would be more affecting.
More gripping. And
as it was, I'm like, this is kind of...
I'm not scared or impressed. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we open on an old news report of General Eisenhower and the Korean War. A pregnant woman hides in the closet as a strange man in a hat walks in to find a woman hanging from the ceiling. I was making Curious George jokes already with this guy's hat.
The man in the hat.
The man in the hat finds the woman in the closet, and she screams. Credits roll as we see Korean immigrants coming to America.
They brought the curse with them.
Yeah. Well, it's Sophie's first day of university, and all the good classes have been taken. I don't think you sign up generally on the last day, but okay.
That's why all the good classes were taken. She waited until the last minute.
She asks her mother why they never bothered teaching her Korean, and she doesn't even have a Korean name. It's something her grandma wanted. Grandma overhears part of the phone conversation and freaks out. Her father texts her that she was in fact given a Korean name, but there was a fight over it. Well, she wants to know her name, and he sends it to her in Korean text, which makes her phone blink with static. It's bad when even the words make your phone blank.
Yeah, that's a bad sign, isn't it?
Brian, Kwan, and Ari meet Sophie in class, and they're all very friendly. Professor Lee runs the Korean history class, and some of the students want to be called by the Korean names. She asks them for help translating her Korean name since she can't even read it. When Kwan tries, the power goes out. That's a way to get out of class.
It's a curse name.
Sophie goes home on a break and eats with the family. Grandma is especially interesting, asking the same questions repeatedly. She has dementia. She mentions thinking about going by her Korean name now, and Grandma insists that she doesn't have one, excitedly. Sophie's parents explain about some of Grandma's history. Her great-grandmother killed herself which was a big scandal in Korea. Grandma says there's more to it than that. She's been trying to protect the whole family from the family curse. Don't speak that name. But
Of
the
course,
name has already been spoken.
they speak the name.
Well, if you don't like this movie, you're not a real Korean.
There was a lot of talk of that in the movie.
Yeah, lots of...
What's a real Korean and what's not?
Are you a real Korean if you're a second or a third generation immigrant like she is? Well, some of her friends say no. And that sounds like kind of a silly argument, but I know it's a very common thing with various immigrant groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, if
Then you get the ones that say I'm Italian, and it's like 19 generations ago.
sometimes, yeah. At what point do you draw the line and
Yeah.
give up on that? And you can say, yeah, I'm of Italian descent or Korean descent, or, you're not. You are of that descent, but you're an American now. You were born in America.
Well, we just got real political real fast. Maybe it's just me, but I didn't find the film particularly compelling at all. The backstory of the curse, the deaths, none of it was really all that interesting. I'm going to give it a big old meh.
Yeah. Meh is a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just call it okay. It was kind of interesting, but just okay.
I wasn't bored, but
know
there was nothing really particularly stand out good about it either.
And there's nothing you can fault as far as the quality of the acting and so forth. The production values, everything was good.
Yeah.
It was good. Just not entertaining.
Which takes us to 2026's Cold Storage.
Which is clearly my winner of the week.
Oh.
I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I guess I would have to.
It's funny.
Johnny Campbell directed this one, written by David Cope, stars Georgina Campbell, Joe Curie, and Liam Neeson. 99 minutes. Trailer in the show notes. I had not heard anything about this one.
Not a thing.
Slipped
No.
right by my radar.
Yeah, same here.
A semi-retired bioterrorism agent gets called back into action with his sidekick when a deadly fungus gets on the loose. Throw a couple of civilians into the mix, and hilarity ensues. This one has lots of humor and body horror. It's very juicy and gross. Everything was well done, and it's entertaining, but it's not super original. A lot here we've seen before.
Yeah.
You notice how since The Last of Us came out, half the zombies are done by fungus?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Never heard of fungus before
is a
The
trend.
Last of Us, but now it's a thing.
Yeah. Well, it's got the fungus thing, and it's got Liam Neeson doing an agent, which, you've probably seen before. It's a character type that he kind of does, but he's kind of funny in this one, though. Kind of making a little fun of it.
Not quite Police Squad funny.
No,
but
not that level.
yeah, he's an agent with a sense of humor.
And he is aged out. He's showing his age and feeling his age.
He's old. He's too old for this stuff.
And
yes.
actually, his age does play heavily into it when his back goes out later. So I'll give him a taste.
Yeah.
Well, we're told about Skylab. That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
And the debris that mostly burned up in orbit, some of it hit the Earth. And in Western Australia, 18 years ago, Enos rushes to make a phone call. Dr. Martins in Rome gets the call. "Something came out of your tank. We're all dying," he exclaims. Well, the tank is NASA's, and she doesn't know much about it, but 27 hours later, she arrives there to investigate. Robert Quinn arrives at the scene with Romano. They're military of some sort. And there was an O2 tank from Skylab that fell down here, and it had a parasitic fungus on it, which was sent up in the first place by NASA, and what came down wasn't the same thing.
Yeah, they set up this fungus as an experiment, but something happened to it.
Mutated, yes. Well, the three check out this small town where Enos was, and that's where the outbreak has taken place. There are no people. They are all missing. And this reminded me of the opening of Andromeda Strain, if you've seen that classic movie.
The Dead Town.
Mm-hmm. And they're suited up, and trying to figure out what happened. Well, they do soon find the tank and check it out. Dr. Martins quickly figured out what happened with the fungus. Someone was trying to clean the tank, and they accidentally fed the thing inside. Well, the creature finds its way in to her through a hole in her boot. And we do find out what happened to the townspeople. They're all on the roofs of the buildings, all dead, and it looks like they've erupted. It's really quite nasty. Well, Quinn calls in the military to burn the town to the ground. Martins has one sample in her bag, and another in her foot.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, it acts really fast and takes over her mind. And she shoots herself. And as credits roll, the town is destroyed, and the sample is taken to a secret research facility where it's put into cold storage.
And then years pass.
They kind of forget about the cold storage, and they sell off the building, and it gets converted to a self-storage place.
Which sounds really stupid, but it is actually explained in the movie.
Yeah.
How this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got loads of fairly big stars and recognizable faces in it. It takes zombie action, contagion action, and a little bit of Die Hard, and mixes it all up with fun characters in a crazy setting. It's not that much here that's original, but it does combine many old tropes into a fun mix.
Yeah, it was really well done.
It's billed as a horror comedy, but I didn't think it was all that funny. I mean, it wasn't super deadly serious, but it wasn't really a comedy, I wouldn't say.
No, not comedy, but lots of chuckles and satire. And
they're kind of making fun of zombie movies.
I thought the casting was especially good in this one. The three of them, and the supporting characters are all kind of loony.
There's a bunch of weirdos come into the storage place overnight. Yeah, and they're all very good.
Yeah, very well done.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. That's my favorite of the week.
Entertaining. That's what I like. Entertaining movies.
But then there's entertaining, and then there's Stranded from 2013.
Well, I was kind of entertained still, but this doesn't have the quality of the previous one.
Directed by Roger Christian, written by Roger Christian and Christian Piers Bentley, stars Christian. Is this a Christian movie? There's 4 of them here.
So many Christians.
Christian Slater, Brendan Fair, Amy Maticio, and Michael Theriot. Hour and 24 minutes. Humanity's first alien contact could be our last, says the poster.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Well, 4 astronaut miners on the moon base get clobbered by meteors, which would be bad enough by itself, but the meteors bring an alien life form that dials up the peril and the body horror up very high. But the problem is there's a lot of miscommunication and bad choices.
These are the worst trained astronauts ever.
Oh, boy, yeah. But it's somewhat of a predictable plot that helps move it along because they make bad choices. But the effects are really good, as is the acting. So the sum total is a pretty good movie that I was more entertained by, I think, than you were. Yeah.
We open on the moon base Ark with 4 crew. It's day 187 of the 1-year mission. There's an incoming meteor storm, and it blasts the base. The rocks keep falling, and there's lots of damage. Commander Gerard Brockman wants to evacuate back to Earth, but suddenly a meteor hits them right in the control room. And credits roll.
Yeah, they really get clobbered.
They all work on damage control for a while. Ava Cameron goes into a damaged section to seal a leak, and she finds a piece of a meteor embedded inside a machine. That goes badly, but she does bring a piece of the meteor back to the inhabitable area, and it's got an unusual spore on it. You think it's the same stuff from the previous movie?
No, it's not. No.
It's going to be several days before an evacuation ship arrives, so they have to patch up whatever's left. The spore starts growing, and it's obviously of alien origin.
And they're not at all careful with it.
And you did the math on this. They said the rescue ship will be there in about 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
And you did the math, and sure enough, a trip to the moon takes about 10 days.
Yeah, it would. Well, they were talking about getting it ready and launched and in orbit.
5 days to get there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but yeah, in total, yeah.
Yeah.
They were accurate on that.
The spore starts growing, and it's obviously alien. Ava works with the spore, and she's got a cut on her hand, so we know where this is heading. She almost immediately starts feeling weird, but doesn't tell anyone.
These are the worst astronauts and scientists ever. Well, they're not really scientists strictly. They're miners, but I mean, they're there to mine materials out of the moon. But they should be smarter than these people. Yeah.
Bruce and Lance find her and examine her, and she's suddenly very pregnant. What?
What?
They put her into a very loose kind of isolation. Worst kind of isolation ever. It's got like open doors.
Well, they were kind of limited on what they had to. So.
Yeah. The thing inside her grows very fast, and she has nightmares. Then the real thing comes out, and it's even worse than the nightmares. Brings about lots of arguing about what to do next. You don't think they have policies in place for when your coworker gets pregnant by an alien spore?
Probably not specific
Okay.
guidelines for that, no.
They probably do for alien fungus, but not the spores.
Right, yeah.
All right, well, anyway, skipping down here to the bottom, these may be the dumbest space people who ever lived. None of them seem to understand what quarantine means. Everybody's in and out of that room all day. They know there's something alive on the base, but they all keep pretending that it isn't. Ava gets infected by an alien spore and doesn't report it at all. And there's lots more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The acting is fine, the sets are good, and the creature effects are effective. The overall plot, however, requires all the characters to make every stupid decision in the book. It's pretty predictable, more than a little bit dull after it gets going.
Yeah.
But you liked it better than I did.
I did, yeah. I mean, these people would have been highly vetted and trained. They don't communicate well at all.
Now, this is a situation that you're probably not trained for.
But you could adapt.
They're not stupid.
And
they
communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah. But all that aside, I thought the pluses outweighed the negatives.
I feel bad. I got this cut on my finger when we touched that alien spore. Could it be related?
And I'm starting to feel woozy.
Oh, my.
Oh,
no, we won't say anything.
I'm going to go hide and not tell everybody.
Yeah. One that made a lot more sense was 1986's Monster Dog.
Well.
Written and directed by Claudio Fragasso, stars Alice Cooper, Victoria Vera, Carlos Santurio. 84 minutes. This may be Alice Cooper's only movie. I'm not sure.
Not his only movie. It's
only his only horror movie.
One where he's a lead in a horror movie. Yeah.
Okay. Spoiler free. A rocker returns to his hometown with his crew to shoot a music video, and they find a town infested with killer dogs. But there are supernatural forces at work, and they aren't just ordinary doggies. It's not awful, but that's great praise.
Yeah.
But there's nothing really noteworthy either. It's generic and pretty forgettable.
Yeah, I thought it was.
This seems like maybe something you'd see from the 70s, not the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of tame, kind of...
But Alice Cooper.
That's really the only thing it's got going for it.
And
even then, it's not really what you think.
Even then, because it's dubbed, we don't hear Alice Cooper's voice in it.
He
there are
sings some
two
songs.
music numbers.
Yeah.
There's two musical numbers, and that's really him singing. The entire cast was dubbed, and kind of poorly.
Yeah, I don't remember where right now. It was some foreign-made movie, and I guess...
I don't know why they couldn't have Alice Cooper dub his own voice, though, if that was necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't know why, but...
Well, how's it start?
We open on Vincent Raven, not Alice Cooper. He's making a music video. He does sound and look a lot like Alice Cooper.
Very much so.
Yeah. And we get the whole music video of him, and then we cut to later, while he's in a van with Sandra, talking about how terrible it was. He's not happy with it. It
wasn't very good.
He's not happy with it. He wants to make something more original. So they're going to head back to his ancestral home. He hasn't been home in decades.
Hey, y'all, I got a castle. You want to film a video there?
Yeah, it's a big mansion of a place. Well, meanwhile, at the big house, the caretaker investigates some strange noises. Sounds like a dog has gotten into the house. Could it be a monster dog?
Could be.
Turns out there's a whole bunch of snarling, growling dogs. Meanwhile, in the van, Vince and his friends talk about hearing about the wild dog problem in the area. Vince and the sheriff, they have a weird history. The sheriff warns them about the dogs. There have already been 5 deaths to those dogs. And back in the day, something happened with Vince's father, and the locals remember the incident. As soon as Vince's group leaves, the sheriff and deputy are killed by a nasty-looking dog.
Oh. So it's clear that the Vince is not a werewolf or anything, because he's still in the van with the other people while the dog's killing people.
Uh-huh. Well, Vince hits a dog with his car, and they all stop to help. Vince finishes the dog off with a blow to the head. And then a creepy old man comes out and says, "Now you've done it. Now he's back at last. He will command the hounds, and all of you will die."
He's fun.
He's an awesome harbinger. Awesome. Vince and Sandra get a glimpse of the monster in the woods.
And we probably could stop there.
There's monsters and monstrous dogs, and
Yeah.
kind of a mystery afoot in his hometown.
But the biggest mystery is why they did this dubbing.
Yeah.
It's very bad dubbing, too, and it detracts from all the performances.
It did detract.
It's not just Alice Cooper, it's all the characters.
Yeah.
The story, though, is pretty formulaic, and the film is very low budget. They did use a bunch of real dogs for this, but the main creature is basically a man in a mask in the dark, or a man in a mask in the fog. We never get much of a look at it.
No, not much.
The monster dog, which isn't the main thing, is just a big puppet. Overall, it's a very generic 80s international horror film.
Yeah, pretty much. Sums it up. I'd never heard of this one before.
I had never heard of research on my werewolf book.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
One that we did know was coming was 2018's Godzilla the Planet Eater. Godzilla versus Galactus.
Mm-hmm, basically.
Not that Planet Eater? Okay.
No.
Director Kobun Shizuno and Hiroyuki Shishita. Written by Jen Urobuchi. Stars It's Another Anime with voice actors. 91 minutes. The reason I'm not reading the voice actors because we got the Japanese names listed and we watched the dubbed version. We were lazy with this one.
Yeah.
Spoiler free.
Spoiler free. Well, it was the third in the anime trilogy. It's a fully science fiction Godzilla movie set in the far future, except this one has much less action than the second movie. A lot more talk about philosophy and religion. We did think it was okay, but on the weak side for a finish.
I wonder how much
I was disappointed.
I was disappointed
because
as well.
the second one, I didn't care much for the first one. Liked the second one a lot. And then this was kind of, I was thinking, the third one's going to be even better. And no, it's okay.
Well, the first one had a lot to explain and a lot to set up and a lot of furniture to move.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't a great movie in itself. It was a part one. Part two, a lot of action happened. This one was a letdown.
There's some action.
And I wonder if, again, just like with that Korean one, this one's Japanese. I wonder if it was in the original Japanese, if all this talking would have made more sense.
Might have.
This just seemed really repetitive and dull with their religion talk. About a completely made-up religion for that point.
Mm-hmm. Alien religion. Some of it was.
Well, the alien, Metphys, narrates about how the Exif have been watching humanity since long before Godzilla appeared. He talks about humanity's need for heroes, religion, and God. He thinks the hero that humanity needs is Hiro Sakaki, the main character from the other two movies. Credits roll.
And just a quick recap. This is way, way in the future.
20,000 years or more.
Yeah, humanity left Earth because it was a ruin, and they have come back to Earth to see if, maybe we can colonize or something, And Earth has recovered a lot, but the problem is that Godzilla is basically taking over the ecosystem. It's all kind of becoming Godzilla and working for him, and the Godzilla creature has become gigantic,
growing for 20,000 years.
Much, much bigger than any of the, classic Godzilla movies. And here's humans and aliens coming back to Earth.
And they had a real good chance of defeating Godzilla in the previous movie, but they messed it up and they got their butts kicked.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Martin talks about Godzilla and the other monsters' origins. Maybe humanity's whole purpose all along was to create the monsters. There's arguing between the Belusalado and the human leaders. After the previous battle, Yuko is now brain dead, but not really dead. Some of the humans have come to the conclusion that Sakaki is being divinely guided somehow. God is watching over them all, and he might be speaking through Sakaki.
It could be.
Well, this really isn't that far off from any of those, chosen one type stories that we get a lot of.
Yeah.
Fate's destiny, it's your destiny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Martin points out that the Hauta treatment that Sakaki got was what saved him from the nanometal in the previous film. Metphys is fully aware of this, but he promotes the religious ideas of the others anyway. Metphys' god is supposedly capable of beating Godzilla. Metphys explains that only Sakaki can summon their god to Earth by using his hatred.
Okay. Turn to the dark side. Let the hate flow through you.
Up in orbit, Doludo and the Belusalado Who came up with them?
Easy for you to say.
They revolt and take over the mothership by force. They want Sakaki's head, so Sakaki has to go into hiding. And Maina, one of the Hauta twins, offers to help. Meanwhile, Metphys uses the religious crystal thing he had repaired in the previous film to send a signal to space. Yes, he's calling their god, which turns out to be...
Who?
The Planet Eater.
Oh.
We'll leave the spoilers to the movie.
Okay.
Or the movie poster, whichever.
Yeah.
It's not a completely unseen creature.
It does give it away in the poster.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
This is the third of the anime trilogy. The appearance of that one guy who will not be named is treated like a big reveal. But it is right there on the movie poster, so it wasn't a great shock.
And it was basically the only creature that hadn't been mentioned or seen, so the only major one.
Okay, it's a big three-headed dude that, we've all known the three-headed dude. Mothra. Boy, there was a lot of hinting that Mothra would show up.
Yeah, and the twins.
The twins are there, and we actually see the egg at one point.
Yeah, but never really made much of an appearance.
No, Mothra never showed up.
Yeah.
This is very talky, with Metphys' explanation seemingly going on for an hour or 10.
It seemed that way.
Still, the series overall has a lot going on, with a lot of details and interesting ideas.
And the animation is super.
Yeah. I guess at the end, they all learn to live with Godzilla, which is just weird.
Yeah. Can't defeat him.
Of course, that's like the way it is with most of the original movies, too. He runs off at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He'll be back.
Yeah. There's no killing Godzilla, not really.
Yeah, in my opinion, I like the first two films of the trilogy quite a bit, but this one was just slow-moving, too philosophical/religious, and not that much actually happened beyond all the talking.
It wasn't a strong finish.
Yes, there's a fight at the end, but it's kind of short and not that interesting.
Yeah.
It's a weak ending to a trilogy that started out pretty great. Overall, I'll give the whole three a thumbs up, but I thought the ending was pretty bad.
Yeah, weak.
Yeah.
But you might like it. You should check it out.
It'd be like the Lord of the Rings if they all just decided to make friends with Sauron at the end.
There you go.
Hey, we're all out of movies.
Oh, no. We need to watch more.
We now watch more for next week, yes. And we've got some good ones next week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a list here. I have no idea what they are anymore. What did we watch?
Oh, I don't know what ones are going to be, included.
Well, the ones we watched yesterday.
Oh, okay. It'll be a surprise for next week, yeah.
It certainly will, because none of them are coming to mind. We watched some good stuff this week, but we'll be talking about them next week. Mm-hmm. Until then, I'm Brian.
And I'm Kevin.
See you next week.
See ya.